Welcome to Bratislava. Game 2 for Russia, Game 2 for Austria. As Russia continues to power on, coming off an opening game victory against Norway. Austria dropped a 5-2 contest to Latvia. And Austria, obviously, Mike Johnson in tough again today.
Tough turnaround. 4 o'clock game yesterday, noon start today local. And they know they're going up against a formidable opponent. They want to try to establish good habits, good work ethic. The only thing I like their head coach saying before is they want to play on their toes and to try to attack it. Alexander Georgiev gets the start. Vasilevsky will be the #1 for most of the tournament. And Bernard Starkbaum for Austria. He better buckle up because I imagine he will be busy this afternoon. But that's a challenge, wanting to play on your toes against Russia. Because if you make a mistake, the amount of talent that they have, they will make you pay.
Austria started last year with a 3-2 loss to Switzerland. Game 2 was against Russia. Didn't go that well. It was 7-0. They were down 3-0 after 1. You talk about Starkbaum being busy. Last year, the shots on goal in the game between these two teams was 48-18 in favor of Russia. And this one gets going. It is a noon start here for these two teams. And Russia had the off day yesterday.
Noon starts are not easy. Maybe Austria can catch Russia for 20 minutes just kind of waking up and finding their way into the game.
Nesterov will jam this down low into the Austrian zone. Palestrang after it in the corner. Palestrang trying to tie up Artem Anisimov. Malkin is after it. Dadonov comes up with it, played it to the front of the net. Ends up back at the line. Slap shot by Sergachev. And Starkbaum will make his first save of the afternoon.
Sergachev took a pretty big hit in the first game versus Norway. Looked like he might have been shaken up, his head a little bit, maybe even his shoulder, but I guess it pays to just be 20 years old because he shook it off, didn't miss a shift, and is right back out for the second game.
Patrick Peter not in the lineup for Austria. 1 game suspension for his hit on Roberts Bukarts.
A couple additions for Russia, though, as they add people throughout. Nikita Zadorov over from Colorado makes his tournament debut, and Iván Telégin also added to the roster for Russia.
And not to look too far ahead, but Russia's next opponent is the Czech Republic, who has been very, very aggressive. Ovechkin in on goal, and Ovechkin tried to find Kuznetsov off the backside, and that got deflected away. Ovechkin stays on it and then gives way. Then Ganal starts right back for Austria. Ganal, Kamarik tried to center it, and that's grabbed off, and Russia right back. Lead pass for Alex Ovechkin on the left side too far. Icing called against Russia.
Kuznetsov wincing a little bit. He may look to change here. And there you see Zadorov. It's always tough, turning it around from the disappointment of your year ending in Colorado, the great run that they had, getting on a plane, flying overseas, time change and everything else, but willing to do it. Becomes the 7th defenseman on the roster.
Just to finish that thought, the Czech Republic very physical, so they may want Nikita Zadorov to play a little bit more in that game tomorrow.
Loosen him up today,
yes,
and unleash him tomorrow.
But that is tomorrow. We'll worry about that tomorrow. Right now, Austria and Russia as game 3, or day 3, gets underway here in Bratislava. Another triple header for you here. Artem Anisimov takes this wide. Anisimov getting pressured into the corner. Anisimov will send it all the way around the boards. Comes back to the left point. Hafizulin plays it down low. Anisimov being watched there by Raphael Wolf. Back for Hafizulin, has some room. Throws it to the backside. Kucherov was there. Hafizulin has it again. Drops it off, high slot. Gusev goes cross ice, slap shot. That's off the side of the net as Gavrikov let it go. Russia to the offensive here early, but this is grabbed off by Fabio Hofer. He'll slide it across. Huntertfun gets to center ice. No further. Now he'll head back on the line change for Austria. Up the ice for Zadorov. Long shot in. Starkbaum watches that go wide. Played around the boards. Russia controls. Barabanov drops it back. Sharp angle try there by Илья Ковальчук. Got turned aside. And Obrist is on it for Austria, and he'll play it out at center ice. Zadorov sends it all the way back in. Icing gets waved off. And Russia right back in on the attack. Trying to work it off the backboards. Rockenwald, number 9 for Austria. And now he'll float back up top. Came to the side of the net. Starkbaum had to get that right pad down quickly. Another blast from the left point by Zadorov. And he ripped that one wide. At the blue line, this gets kept in. Nestorov slides this across. Barabanov trying to work it to the front of the net. Gets a little bit of help. Sharp angle try. And this is grabbed and held as Andronov with the in-tight opportunity.
Chances early. Kucherov jumping backdoor, nice feed. This is a tough tip because it's more like a toe pick, and he puts it almost up and over straight across. And that entire shift, Austria had no idea what to do with Barabanov. There's the Zadorov ringing one off the post. So apparently Russia did get the wake-up call and are buzzing in the offensive zone. But you see different ways to attack. You have a seam play, you have a wrap play, you have a point play. Russia will take whatever you give them.
Plotnikov back for Zaitsev. Zaitsev's shot didn't get through. Schneider feeds this on the left side. Trying to bust his way through is Herberger. Herberger chases this down. Dadonov pokes it away at the blue line from Rockenwald. Austria back to regroup. Cross ice pass. Heinrich trying to stay with his man. Heinrich now watches that come off the netting, but this will get whistled down.
Dadonov, one of the stars of the first game. 2 goals, both on the power play, both on the right, same spot in front of the net. Feeds from Evgeny Malkin, one from the left side, one from the right side. And Dadonov is probably a little bit underappreciated in his NHL career, in his international career, but he's the guy that high-end players want to play with for all the things he does so well.
Konstantin Komarek out to take the face-off for Austria. Coming into this game, he had won 9 of 14, 64% chance down the left side for Tomas Raffel. And the save made by Georgiev, his first of the afternoon. Kuznetsov gets to center, has his pocket picked by Raffel, and Thomas Raffel back in on the chase. Dmitry Orlov turned it over. This is grabbed off, chance in on that left side for Strong, into the slot, and that's off the top of the net. Unterweger walked in from the line, and Georgiev or somebody in front of that Russian net got a piece of it. Then it went up and off the top of the net in behind Georgiev.
Some careless puck play by Russia in their own end, throwing it up the middle, assuming somebody will be there, and picked off, and chances the other way for Austria. Well done.
Fabio Hofer will chase this down, cleared away from him by Nestorov. Gusev on that right side tried to get the wrister through, didn't get much on it. And this will slide into Starkbaum, and he'll hang on to it.
You mentioned the chance. Unterweger tees it up, and what is this? It rattles off both Raffel and Gavrikov. Then the crossbar before tickling across the back of the net. Look at this, banging around pinball wizard. Oh, fractions of an inch. Dropping in.
Anisimov holds this in for Russia, and Raphael Wolf, who didn't play much in the opening period in their game yesterday, and then saw plenty of ice time. It was very good. Here's a chance. Gusev in. Save made by Starkbaum.
Gusev loves to hang around the high back check position. Then when there's a turnover, he's gone. He reads the turnover and jumps it, sliding in behind the defenders. Looking to slip this 1-5 hole. He actually does get it past the stick. Watch how this one trying to go on the right side, and then he just bangs the stick and up to the chest. Not the release he wanted to. Fined.
82 points as he won the KHL scoring title this past season, then signed with Vegas, didn't get into any action. Andronov facing off with Herberger. Herberger in the corner for Austria, sends it ahead for Michael Raffel. Michael Raffel's lead pass for Heinrich too far. Zaitsev back forward for Russia. Plays it back up the boards. It bounces around in the Russian zone and now controlled by Nikita Zaitsev. Andronov with the redirect, making sure that gets out of his own end of the ice. And Heinrich will go back for it. For Schneider, for Herberger. Herberger to the line, takes a bit of a bump there from Nikita Zadorov. Zaitsev on the loose puck, on for Evgeny Malkin. And Russia back in on the attack, Илья Ковальчук. Slows it down through center, tried to feed that through for Malkin, that got deflected away. And around for Thomas Raffel. He'll play it through, Konstantin Kamarik. Kamarik takes it wide, throws it back up into the high slot. Quick shot there from Unterweger. That didn't get to the net. Unterweger has certainly activated from that left point position on a few occasions here in the early going. To the front of the net, Georgiev got that left pad down and made a good save. Terrific year for Georgiev. Probably got into way more games with the Rangers than he expected to.
33, he was probably hoping to get to 15. And to the point where late in the year, Henrik Lundqvist was saying, you know what, Georgiev should probably get another start because he had earned it by playing so well. And I imagine that rotation continues to drift further away from Lundqvist getting 50 starts and much closer to just 50-50 between the two of them.
Icing called here against Austria. No score in this game. There's been chances at both ends of the ice. Russia certainly owned the first 3-4 minutes of this game, but since that point, Austria has settled in. And there's that good save by Georgiev.
Ganal driving hard, and also Kamarik standing right in front there for a tip or a rebound. And so far, Russia looks great when they have the puck, but maybe not quite engaged just yet when they do not.
And so far, from an Austrian standpoint, touch wood, I guess they have stayed out of the penalty box. And some of that has to do what we just said, Mike, is the fact that Russia maybe not at the top of this game as of yet. Here in this early start in Bratislava. Oh, that's good. And a good poke check there as that got knocked away from him. Turned over at the line and back out at center. Raphael Wolf plays this ahead. Finally, it does get taken there by Hunter Fund. Orlov knocked his man down at center ice. That was Zwerger. And Russia will regroup. Kirill Kaprizov gets to the line no further. Again, big Raphael Wolf closed him out quickly. And Russia back half to Zulin. Will play it for Zaitsev. Zaitsev up the boards and ends up on the near side for Gusev. Gusev with the wrister off the left shoulder of Starkbaum. Wasn't sure where it was, but it was cleared away before anyone in a red jersey could get to it. Taken by Howden. Howden plays this all the way down the left side, no one there. And another icing call here against Austria.
Gusev, who's known more for his setup, showing the shot as he tries to go top glove, and the billowing jersey of Starkbaum gets just enough of that as the puck wraps through the sweater and slows down enough for Dominic Heinrich to clear it off the line. Gusev piled up the assists, 65 in 62 regular season games this year. Just 17 goals. He is more of a pass-first kind of guy, but can score when needed.
Starkbaum plays in Vienna. Wasn't the #1 netminder, didn't play a whole lot, but has made some good saves here in the early going of this one. Gavrikov for Zadorov and back for Gavrikov. As the Avs and Columbus defensemen play give and go. Heinrich trying to stay with his man, came to the side of the net. Barabanov gave Heinrich all he could handle. Zadorov didn't get anything on that shot. Gavrikov drives it to the front of the net. And Barabanov will play it back for Gavrikov. Near side, Zadorov Zadorov dishes it off for Илья Ковальчук, the captain of this Russian team. Nice fake there by Kovalev as he put the move on Howdem and then tried to pass it cross ice, and they finally do wave off the icing. As I'm not sure Gavrikov could have gone back any slower.
That Barabanov is a nightmare down low. The stop and starts.
Malkin trying to get out of his own zone. That failed on the first attempt. Second attempt, he'll give it off to Grigorenko. Grigorenko will hit the line, dish it off. Pass back on this side for Malkin from Dadonov. That didn't materialize, and it's back out at center. Herberger can't get anywhere for Austria, and Dadonov right back in. Plays it to open ice where Malkin will skate into it. Malkin into the slot, and that's picked off by Schneider. And then Schneider got stopped at center ice by Nestorov, and here comes Malkin right back. Malkin doesn't get the shot through. Schlacker tried to pick it up for Austria, could not. And then Malkin's attempt was blocked. And right back up the ice now for Strong. Kameric for Austria. Tries to get that back down low. Schlacker in from that left side. Schlacker around the net. Goes to the forehand. Tried to find the stick of Ganal. Blast from the line by Raffel, and he ripped that one over top the net. Schlacker sends it deep, and Russia finally does gain control, and half of Zulin will just get rid of, or rather Orlov will just get rid of it out to center ice. Back in Kuznetsov. Orlov. Orlov takes it wide on Thomas Raffel. Orlov thought about a wraparound, puts on the brakes. Penalty now coming up to Austria. There's that offensive zone pressure by Orlov. Caused some issues. There's a quick shot by Илья Ковальчук. Start bomb with a good right pad save. And a hooking penalty coming up. Power play coming for Russia.
Austria player number 5, 2 minutes, okay.
Russia's power play went 3 for 4 in the opening game. And this is the first man advantage of this game. Dadonov, who had a couple of goals in game 1, passes that across, and Nikita Kucherov unloaded on it. Start bomb, another save.
He was so wide, I think, because Malkin wanted him over there on a potential lost draw ring to stop the puck from getting out of the zone, so he was over by the boards. Not a great shooting angle from Kucherov.
Gusev for Malkin, dances his way in, dishes it off, and got poked away by Michael Raffel. Raffel does have a shorthanded goal in this tournament. Center to the front, that got blocked in front. And unable to clear it out was Unterweger. Unterweger down to block the pass. Cross ice, it comes into the slot. Dadonov scores. Where have we seen that play before?
What a treat it must be to be Evgeny Dadonov. Just hang in the middle of the diamond, waiting for a pass. And we've seen the pass get out to him now. He's got 3 power play goals, and from 3 different spots. First of all, when you get the puck on your stick, you better get it clear against Russia. You cannot give them second and third chances. Sergachev, the good keep. And then what kills the penalty kill is seam. So there you see Kucherov one time through Raffel's stick right on the tape of Gusev. Dadonov smart enough to know it's not for him. He doesn't touch it. Right back into the wheelhouse for a one-timer. And Dadonov makes no mistake. So much skill on that power play, and yet Dadonov is the shooter. And he's made no mistake. 3 power play goals. Not even 4 periods of play.
49 seconds into the power play. And Russia with the 1-0 lead.
Would that be considered a little long to score for that power play? They scored in under 15 seconds twice in the first game.
Put it this way, unless the second power play unit starts, the power play,
a lot of time.
It may not get out there very much. Odd man rush for Austria. Raffel sends this across. Kamaric trying to get it back to him.
Take the breakaway, Kamaric. You're in alone.
Kamaric back at the line. Heinrich for the wrister. That never got through. Ильya Kovальчук breaks it up and it's bounced out to center ice. Kovальчуk finding a little bit of room, and the wrister Starkbaum makes the save. Out to center, the pass partially blocked by Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov wheels it back in, goes high short side, and Starkbaum gets a piece of it. Zaitsev for Ovechkin. Ovechkin for Orlov. Orlov sends it back down the boards. And Zaitsev back to regroup. Ovechkin will deflect this into the Austrian zone, and Raphael Wolf with the long lead pass up through center. Grabbed off by Hofer. Hofer trying to send it low, does. Huntered Fun trying to get a stick on it for Austria, unable to, and it's back out at center. And Schlacker will backtrack for Austria. 1-0 Russia, power play goal from Evgeny Dadonov. Howden takes it wide into the Russian zone. The shot is deflected wide. And now play whistle down on the offside.
When you have a chance, you have to take the chance. Nice play by Thomas Raffel against Kamaric. He's in alone. Nestorov's not going to get back to him. He can even take it right across the net if he wants. He stops skating, stares at his target, which is an unselfish play back to Thomas Raffel. But you just got to take the puck to the net there.
He almost got the deflection from Nestorov to find the glove side low.
Just take the puck to the net yourself.
You're not going to get a whole lot of opportunities in this game, so
they have 3 shots. You passed up a breakaway to try to find someone backdoor.
As the legendary and the great Pat Quinn and the late Pat Quinn used to say, you don't have to pass it into the net. Cleared up through center ice, Artem Anisimov for Gusev.
I think I heard that from Pat firsthand a few times.
Around the boards in the Austrian zone. Howden will play this out at center. Schneider will deflect it back to the Russian line. Cleared back up. Gusev has some room as Austria was changing. And Starkbaum with a left arm save.
He felt that. He's shaking that one out. Caught him awkwardly. He's still feeling it.
Yep, he is. Back in for Herberger. Schneider, Herberger looking out front. Michael Raffel is there. Couldn't get the puck to him as Grigorenko breaks it up. And Grigorenko will put this off the glass and out to center ice. Dadonov is after it. Heinrich trying to rub him out. Dadonov keeps on going. Malkin tried to slide that back across to Grigorenko, who was wide open, but it didn't work. Here comes Schneider for Herberger. And Herberger tried to go cross ice looking for Michael Raffel.
Message between periods has to be shoot the puck if you're Austria.
Malkin
never have a chance.
Drops it at the line, taken by Grigorenko. Grigorenko around the net. Grigorenko being hounded there closely by Shumnik. Zadorov. Zaitsev. Zaitsev walks it in. Starkbaum, another save. They've not gone easy on Starkbaum. They've gone high with a lot of shots.
He'll be icing down his shoulders after this period.
And Starkbaum will smother this and hang on to it. Russia with the 1-0 lead here in the first. Officials for our first game of the day. Linus Oland of Sweden is one of the referees. Gordon Schukes of Germany the other. And your linesmen are Jeppe Leemakers and Nathan Van Oosten. Van Oosten, the Canadian, in the crew.
Van Oosten sounds like he might be Danish as well, or Dutch.
Duel. Kamaric off a skate out to center. United States the 3-1 lead on France over in Kosice. Alex DeBrincat, who had their only goal in the loss to Slovakia, has 2 in this game. He can score. 3-0, sorry, in that game against France. Into the slot area, redirect. Kamaric tried to go for Thomas Raffel. Raffel with the high wrister over top the net. Gavrikov chases it down in the corner. Jams this ahead for Илья Ковальчук, on for Nikita Zadorov. Zadorov walks it in, wrist shot, save made, Starkbaum. The 15th shot of the period for Russia. Zadorov for Orlov. Orlov for Ovechkin. Kuznetsov back for Orlov. That shot never got through. Kuznetsov after it again, tried to get it back to the line. This will bounce back out to center ice. Kirill Kaprizov will leave for Alex Ovechkin. Washington losing early, but I guess for Ovechkin, a Stanley Cup last year and a World Championship this year wouldn't be a bad finish to a season that didn't go that well for them in Washington. Chance down the left side with some room, Strong. And Georgiev makes the save.
Good rush by Strong there. Defenseman not used to having these kind of opportunities. Slides it underneath the stick, and he's off to the races, but he's probably going to get caught, so he wisely elects to shoot it. Quite enough on there for Georgiev to snare it. You can always tell when defensemen are on the rush. You never look that comfortable.
Maybe he was sending a message to his forward, shoot the puck.
This is what you're supposed to do, guys.
Yes. Zaitsev plays this through for Artem Anisimov. Anisimov with Rockenwald in on him. Obrist got bumped off the puck. Howden couldn't get a handle on it either. In from the line is Kucherov. He'll drop it back. Zafulin from the left side lets the shot go, and that got stopped. It has a Zafulin with an opportunity down that left side.
He didn't want to shoot that. He should watch Dadahnov find a corner. The seam play comes right here from Kucherov. You watch him play, and there's so many good passes, and he creates it all. He goes through the box. He makes Starkbaum move laterally. You see Starkbaum going left to right. He's up, he's down. He can't get settled as he comes back into Dadahnov, who makes no mistake. Doesn't even take a great shot. It's a good one.
Another shot from the line. Gavrikov let that one fly. I don't think Starkbaum saw that one as it came through traffic.
A period like this will take the legs away from a goalie. He's been busy. He's faced 17 shots, lots of attempts, and zone time. And you wonder if goalies ever get tired. I think they do feel it.
Centered in front for Schneider, and Georgiev with his best save of the afternoon. Off of Michael Raffel on the nice pass. Raffel to Schneider.
Just 5 shots in the period for Austria, but they've had a pretty good run of chances here in the last few minutes, as Russia a little careless with their puck management, knowing that when you have it as much as they do, it kind of lulls you in a false sense of security. It's just 1-0 on a power play goal by Dadonov. But the game feels easy because you have it all the time, and just a little bit loose in their own end has given Austria some chances.
The puck ended up on the stick of the right player for Austria. 35 goals and 68 points in 54 games last year in Vienna for Peter Schneider. So he does have an offensive touch. Raffel centers this out front, as getting a whack at it was Ganal. Barabanov plays it deep. Kovalchuk goes in after it. Kovalchuk will play it to the near side. Thomas Raffel goes in after it, but Barabanov comes up with it. Barabanov tied up in the corner. Came to the front of the net from Andronov. Kovalchuk trying to find a little bit of room. Kovalchuk takes it to the net. Tried to slip that to the backside. That missed the net. And now Raffel will take it back in behind his own goal as we have 15 seconds left to go in period number 1. And a 1-0 lead for Russia. Up at center, Zwerger will send this ahead. Zwerger gets rubbed out there by Grigorenko. Dadonov on for Malkin. Malkin's going to run out of time. He'll just slip this in on Starkbaum. And the first period will come to an end. Georgiev, Starkbaum on the other hand stopped 16 of 17, made some good saves and took a few shots up high.
He did. They were peppering him and looking to go under the bar. I expect though a little bit better out of Russia now. We're a period into it. Everyone's awake, legs are moving, and more concerted effort to clean up their puck management, their own end specifically. Not so much what they do when they have it. That stuff comes naturally. There's just too much talent, too many players that have great offensive instincts, that when they're with the puck, they're fine. When they don't have it, that they need to get sharper, because tomorrow they are playing the Czechs. And that will be a very difficult game. You have to try to treat these next 2 periods as a prep for tomorrow's game.
Nikita Gusev had 4 shots on goal. That led Russia in that department. And ice time, Ilya Kovalchuk, 6 minutes and 26 seconds.
Saw that.
A couple of long shifts in there for the captain. Cleared around the boards as Russia with the 1-0 lead. The lead pass for Dadonov, intercepted. Unterweger puts it back into the Russian zone and right back up at center ice, and Dadonov will try it again. Knocked off the stick of Dadonov. From a Austrian standpoint, Thomas Raffel, 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Led them in ice time. Also had 2 shots on goal and missed the net on a few other opportunities that he had an icing call here coming against Austria.
Unterweger going to be challenged. Now this is the guy I'm looking to get going. Pretty slow in the first game. Pretty slow here in the first period of the second game. I'm expecting more out of Kuznetsov and Ovechkin in this line with Kaprizov, who has been great in his last few international tournaments, to pick it up here in the second and third.
Kaprizov has the puck, drops it off. Ovechkin in front for the redirect. Good job down in front of the net by Shumnik to tie up Ovechkin. Blast from the line by Orlov. That misses the net and ends up on the doorstep of Georgiev, who comes out to play it. Quickly up for Ovechkin, and Ovechkin will dump this into the corner. Schlacker will leave it there. Winterfund jams it up in the corner. Schlacker in there as well. Jammed up the boards and grabbed off and kicked ahead by Winterfund. Swagger sends this into the Russian zone, comes around the boards. Hunterfund gets tied up, goes after it. Loose puck is grabbed off. Quick shot by Fabio Hofer doesn't get through. Zwerger after it in the corner. It ends up on the stick of Hafizulin. This gets deflected, they wave off the icing. And Starkbaum will come out and snap this up at center ice. Howden will play it to the Russian line. And Rockenwald will send it the rest of the way in. Gavrikov plays it in behind. Kucherov looking for a little bit of room. Kucherov got stopped there by Shumnik. Shumnik plays it into the slot. Quick shot, that got blocked by Gavrikov, I think. Back up for Kucherov. Kucherov in on goal, dropped it off. Tried to find Anisimov and was in behind him.
Almost like he thought Anisimov might have been a righty coming with him there, because he put it right in the wheelhouse for a right-hand shot, but jammed up the left-shooting Anisimov.
And again, Kucherov may have had a lane to take that in on Starkbaum. Obrist right back in, drops it back. Shot to the far side by Howden, gets juggled by Georgiev. And Georgiev will hang on to it.
Some chances here. In the second period, Austria turns over Kucherov and ends up on Obrist's stick. It's a good shot here. Quick release. Georgiev fights it off. Good look from Shubnik through the legs. Quick release. Georgiev just gets enough of it. Georgiev's not super big guy, 6'1", very athletic looking. Moves around, lively body in the net. And comes out to challenge the shooters. Doesn't sit back on the goal line like his counterpart in New York, Henrik Lundqvist. More aggressive, moving out off the goal line.
He's made a couple of good saves, hasn't been busy, but that one did get through, and he gets the left shoulder up.
Just 22 years old. And every team, even with great goalies like Henrik Lundqvist, you're looking for a succession plan. And it's like they found it in Georgiev, as they'll form more of a duo than a starter backup for the next couple of years as Henrik Lundqvist creeps towards retirement.
Played up the wall by Zadorov, but it doesn't get out. Came back to the side of the net. Michael Raffel without a stick. Kicks that to the near corner. Herberger plays it around. Schneider goes in after it. And it's played up for Ilya Kovacik. He gave it away to the front of the Russian net, but quickly steered away and right back up the ice now for Ilya Kovacik. He'll drop it back. Barabanov with the wrister. And that is off a stick and up and down a play.
Barabanov might be the best player on the ice so far for Russia. As his skating has been very noticeable. Nesterov jumps up to make a 3-on-3, a 4-on-3. That's why the defenseman has to get pushed back. Eventually, Palestrang releases and steps up and blocks that shot, and a good one. Barabanov is 24 years old. Plays for St. Pete's. Is very comfortable there, but he's caught my eye, and the right age for, we see a lot of these European players coming over to North America, signing with NHL teams. I would be intrigued by Barabanov, not drafted, free agent, if you could get him to come over.
There are NHL teams represented here, and
so every team is here watching.
Yes, I agree. I don't think there's any doubt that Barabanov is one of the guys that is on their radar here to keep an eye on.
Now, if you can get him to leave, or the contract situation is in St. Petersburg, we don't know, but if you could, I would.
Kamaric waiting for it up the left side boards. Konstantin Kamaric will play this through the middle for Raffel. Back for Kamaric. Tried to send that backside where Ganal was. It never did get through. Ganal tracks this down in the corner. He'll take a bump there from Nikita Zaitsev. Sent around the boards, race to the near side. First in there was Steven Strong, but couldn't handle that cleanly, and Russia will clear it out. And Hofer gets back for Austria. For Rockenwald, this will get sent in. In from the right point is Schlacker, steered away from him. Floated out through center. Hofer knocked it down. And Raphael Wolf trying to get this back for Hofer. Barabanov breaks it up, finds Orlov, and Orlov with the wrister that went wide. Ovechkin trying to center.
Talking about Barabanov, gets him bumped up to Kuznetsov's line with Ovechkin as Kaprizov misses a shift in that rotation.
Swerger couldn't get a handle on that bouncing puck, and right back for Barabanov. Barabanov will send his cross ice for Ovechkin just beyond his reach. Ovechkin tried to come back to the near side for Gavrikov, and Schlacker got a stick in the way and deflected that away. Back in for Anisimov. Artem Anisimov wide against Shumnig. Anisimov turns, puts it back to the near corner for Kucherov in front of the net. What a setup. And Hafa-Zulin in from the line, got the redirect, but didn't get enough on it. Shumnig gets this out at center. Rockenwald will send it the rest of the way in. And Nesterov will chop it up the boards. Right skate save there to hold it in by Howdem. Obrist giving chase. Cleared away from him, and Gusev will play it up at center ice looking for Kucherov. No room for him against Shumnig. And Gusev will try it again. He'll get dumped at the line by Herberger. Play goes on. Pass intercepted by Kucherov. Starkbaum will come out, snap it around the boards all the way out the center. Remains a 1-0 game. Bumped there by Zaitsev on Obrist. And Zadorov will go back for it. Nikita Zadorov. His first game for Russia. Takes it wide, sends it back for Zaitsev. Zaitsev tried to put that through traffic, stopped by Obrist. And Obrist will bat this out to center ice. Kaprasov tried to feed this through for Ilya Kovальчук. Up at center for Raffel. Plays this in behind the net for Schneider. Schneider had a terrific look on Georgiev in that opening period, and Georgiev with a real good stop off Schneider. Cleared down the ice. Icing gets waved off. Ilya Kovальчук is after it. Palestrang is after him. Comes in the near corner, and Malkin may have taken a stick up high as he is down in behind the play, and now play does get whistled down, and Malkin will make his way back to the Russian bench. 1-0 Russia here in the second.
Nothing Russia as they are having trouble breaking through the Austrian defense, and Richard Starkbaum, despite putting up 17 shots halfway through the game. Malkin's still out there. He took a high stick from his own guy, Kaprizov, in the corner. Good eye by the referees not to make the call.
Russia without a shot on goal so far here in the second period. Grigorenko, near side, Gavrikov, and he ripped that one high and wide. Grigorenko in tight, doesn't shoot it. Malkin on it. Malkin trying to get it free for Dadonov. Dadonov gives chase, but Herberger gets there first. Or Komarek, rather. Komarek carries in. And offside called against Austria.
Russia may not have a shot on net, but they have had some good looks that have missed the net. The latest being that Gavrikov one-timer. Komarek, one of the few guys on Austria who probably skate with the Russian players, as Roger Potter probably pleased. It's 1-0. We're halfway through the game. That's a success, as the referee has a little conversation with the coach.
Well, he wanted his team to compete.
And they are doing that. Absolutely. Barabanov, second shift in a row with Kuznetsov, Ovechkin. So apparently Coach Ilya Vorobyov, seeing what we're seeing in that Kuznetsov, Ovechkin line, wasn't getting it done. He'd seen enough through a game and a half and put an energizing player in Barabanov with him. See if he can't spark him a little bit.
Interesting from Coach Batter was, we're not going to judge by the result. It's going to be how we play. He knows that this is probably a game that the result isn't going to be what they want, but it is about how they play. But they're just down one. Ovechkin is in with that shot, and that never got through. Chipped up the boards and back out at center by Fabio Hofer, and Russia will regroup. Back in, Ovechkin heads to the front of the net, tried to get a stick on that cross-ice pass from Barabanov. Kuznetsov throws it down low. Ovechkin on it. Plays it back up top. Ovechkin gets dumped on the far side, and Schlacker's going to get a penalty. I'm not sure if that was a bit of a slew foot or...
Don't see Ovechkin get upended like that very often.
Russia will go to the power play. 6 attackers now for Russia. And it does get stopped on the far side by Hofer against Orlov.
They're talking to each other right now, Schlacker and Ovechkin. Schlacker headed to the penalty box. Ovechkin not pleased at all with the hit. It was right along the boards. As Ovechkin a little bit more engaged now with Barabanov, had some pucks on his stick, some shot attempts. A near miss here in front, just can't quite find the trigger, although he had inside position on Wolf. And eventually, here's the hit. No, that's not a slew foot, that's just a shove. Now Ovechkin might be thinking, hey, door's open. No need for that. But you're allowed to hit, and that was a good one. I don't know what the penalty would be there.
Yeah, initially, the speed of the play, it looked like he may have got it with that foot, but he did not. Here comes Malkin, power play coming up. Ovechkin may have thought that because he certainly was not very happy with Schlacker. Second power play of the game. Obrist breaks this up. In across the line. Slap shot short-handed by Rockenwald. Here comes Malkin. Kucherov. Kucherov being watched there by Unterweger. Unterweger up with it. Rink-wide pass, Rockenwald, Unterweger, and Rockenwald ended up blocking the shot, but Austria draws a penalty, and the power play for Russia will end as Nikita Kucherov will go to the penalty box.
Kucherov,
number 86,
bad read in the second one. Here's the first chance by Rockenwald. Slapper just over the bar on Georgiev, and here's the second one. Little poke in the back of the leg by Kucherov. It was Kucherov who decided to stand up in the neutral zone trying to pick a puck out of the air. He missed it. That's what allowed the second 2-on-1, forcing him to take a penalty. And Austria surviving a power play attempt for Russia, which is a rarity so far in this tournament.
Russia not at its top of its game, no doubt, but give Austria credit. They've hung in here and played pretty well.
Still no shots in the second period for Russia.
Herberger on the 4-on-4 dances his way around Ovechkin. Herberger couldn't get a shot away, and Dmitry Orlov is on it. Orlov being watched by Schneider. Orlov will leave it. Kuznetsov gives it back to him. Then Orlov will carry it in. Orlov for Kuznetsov. And they're going to call Kuznetsov offside. So 4-on-4, and barring any more calls, Austria will get a brief power play on the back end. .39 seconds left on the 4-on-4. And then, barring any more calls, Austria will go to the power play. We'll take a second to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day, all the mothers, the aunts, and grandmothers, and everybody else that falls into that category. Turned over as Heinrich lost his footing inside his own line. Zadorov. Dadaunov, but back for Zadorov. Dadaunov looking for a little bit of room. He has the only goal in this game. Came on a power play in the first. Dadonov into the slot, down low, Anisimov, and a right pad save made by Starkbaum. And now another penalty as there is a stick that happens to be in two pieces in front of Starkbaum.
The evidence is right in front of the net as Thomas Raffel picks up a slash.
Austria, player number 5,
And
2
now it
minutes
will
for
be
slashing.
4-on-3 for just 9 seconds, and a bit of more 4-on-4. Give and go up top between Dadonov and the defenseman, Javijulin jumping in. Anisimov got maybe a look at it, 1 rebound, a second attempt, and here comes the slash that breaks the stick from Raffel. Always called. We'll see if Malkin can win this draw. They have 3 forwards out there, despite their power play ending in 9 seconds. They'll have to manage a 4-on-4 situation if they can't score right here.
So the power play will never come into existence for Austria with the Kucherov penalty. Orlov, Malkin, chipped in front, and Kovacek chipped it wide.
But now you got Ovechkin playing defense. One of those 3 guys has to play defense.
We're back to 4-on-4. Raffel carrying it in, knocked away from him, and Malkin the lead pass. And Zaitsev off the bench had it get away from him, or he was in alone. Strong with the lead pass for Raffel. Stopped at the line, and Orlov will bring it back. Orlov wide on Steven Strong. One hands it to the front of the net, and Ovechkin got a chop at it. Ovechkin in a battle in behind the net. Schneider trying to pull it out of the pile. Zaitsev came in from the right point to hold it out. Zaitsev on it from Malkin. To the front of the net, Zaitsev for Ovechkin. And Starkbaum with another good save.
You know, Ovechkin is starting to move his feet out there. Almost you can see the frustration in not creating as much as he wants starting to grow. Orlov, hard drive to the far side. Scrapes right through Starkbaum's head, but doesn't take a penalty. Ovechkin almost gets the rebound. And then Zaitsev finds Ovechkin slashing. He can't stand still. You got to move. Austria knows how good Alex Ovechkin is. They're going to put a man on him. You have to move to the open spots. Beats this guy to the net and almost gets a tip.
Sergachev, Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov back for Sergachev, sends it down low. And the ripper from Ovechkin wide. Kuznetsov plays give and go. Kaprizov is in front of the net. Centered in front. And that failed to materialize as they were looking for Ilya Kovacek. Sergachev gets it down. Ovechkin the blast, and that was stopped by Starkbaum. 33-year-old Bernard Starkbaum has been very good for Austria in this game. Russia back to regroup. Dying seconds, 15 left in this power play. Played around for Kaprizov. He'll leave it in the corner. Kuznetsov, Sergachev, Ovechkin, and he blasted that one wide. Kovacek, Ovechkin, Starkbaum plays it well.
What a read by Starkbaum.
Ovechkin cross ice, intercepted in front of the net by Heinrich, and Rockenwald, Raffel, back for Rockenwald, and he got taken down. And all the Austrian fans up in arms.
I think that's a good hit by Sergachev. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, they want a penalty on the play, but Rockenwald trying to split the D. Sergachev maybe a little bit from behind, but give and go with Thomas Raffel. And you see the shove. Tell me there's something wrong with that. He had the puck right on his stick. I know it looks bad and a chance is thwarted, but that's what defensemen are supposed to do. He has it on his stick, poke check, then finish with the body. Nothing wrong at all by Sergachev, and a good no call, not to overreact to the guy crashing in the net. Georgiev, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Slides out of the way. Mikhail Sergachev is an interesting guy because he's so big and skates so effortlessly. He oftentimes looks like he's casual on the ice. Handles it very smoothly, skates upright. He doesn't always look like he's hustling, much like this guy heading to drill the hole in the nets, not looking like he's hustling.
Now, in all fairness, he had to come all the way from the other end of the ice.
That's
to the
right,
Zamboni door
which means you better get on your horse and get down there. This is not, listen, It may be Sunday, but it's not casual Sundays.
We've
Get a
got-
move on.
yeah.
Things are going on. We've got 3 games to get through
Exactly.
today.
We've got a couple more of these to get done before this day comes to an end.
I think he's going to slide over to
Yeah.
the penalty box at least now to not go the length of the ice. Just not in a hurry at all. Not even a shuffle. I respect that in a guy. He's doing his job the way he wants to do it.
Face off to the left of Georgiev. Jammed up the boards and out the center. Grigorenko sends this cross ice. It remains 1-0. First period power play goal from Dadonov. Hafizulin plays this into the corner. Strong is after it. Gunal trying to jam it up the wall. Does, but it's blocked at the line. Gavrikov trying to slap past that to the front of the net. It got blocked. Gavrikov has it again. Back for Malkin. Malkin, Hafizulin. Hafizulin up top for Grigorenko. As they get the cycle going, trying to break the defensive structure of Austria. Kamaric stays with Hafizulin. Hafizulin on it again and then gave it away to Strong. Strong for Kamaric, near side Raffle. And trying to stay on side was Strong, but he cannot keep that left leg planted. Offside is called. Nothing. Russia leading Austria. Dadonov power play goal. Opening period. Second game today. Italy and Sweden. We'll see if Sweden has a bit of a snarl to it after an opening game loss to the Czech Republic. And then Latvia and Switzerland will close out today's triple header. Gusev Kucherov scores.
Well executed 3-on-3 rush. And Kucherov cashed in at the end for another point. He's got 2 points in this game, 5 points in the tournament. Straight up 3-on-3, nothing fancy going on here. Kucherov's gonna cut and drop. Slight pick here, and Wolf bumps into Hunter Fun, and that little rub pick of Wolf on Hunter Fun. Right here, watch, Wolf steps in, little confusion, he stops, and Kucherov slides by him. And Isimov does what he does, push the third guy back to the net, opens up an easy seam for Kucherov and Gusev to connect, and it's 2-0 Russia. The slightest breakdown from Wolf, and trying to stay on a man-to-man with a blue line crisscross, and it's 2-0 Russia.
Second point of the game for Kucherov, a goal and an assist. 2 assists now in the game for Gusev. Herberger. Schneider in for Michael Raffel, pitches a backhander. Georgiev watches that sail wide. Back to the front of the net it goes. It gets intercepted, and now Zaitsev will bring it down. Zaitsev will keep on trucking into the Austrian zone. Taken away there by Herberger. He got squeezed out by Andronov. In front of the net score, Iván Telégin in his first shift of the game.
Well, that's one way to get back on the ice.
Maybe.
35 minutes in, he's got a smile. Well rested is what he is. Telégin added to the roster today as a 13th forward. And what a little chip that is. Kovalchuk spots him, hooks it in, through the legs, roller. Ah, pretty.
Oh.
Iván Telégin over the glove of Starkbaum. And Heinrich staring at Kovalchuk, loses track of Telegin sliding in behind him, but still requires a pretty good tip and a lot of love on the bench for Telegin.
Well, that's a pretty short shift, but he got it done. He's back on the bench.
His goals per 60 are through the roof.
His Corsi numbers will be outstanding. 3-0 Russia as they get a couple of quick ones here in the second period. Now out shooting Austria 24-10. Taken by Dadonov, up for Evgeny Malkin. Malkin spins a backhander to the Grigorenko on the far side, and they're going to say Grigorenko jumped the line, and offside is called.
Kucherov, if I think of one word to describe him, besides good, he's smooth. Everything he does is just so smooth. And he showed that on his goal. Telegin, a little more meat and potatoes down in front of the net with the tip, but Kucherov, every handle is clean, every pass is flat, every shot is where he wants it, every decision's on point. He's just so smooth.
Kamaric for Austria. Ganal is after it. 36 seconds between those two goals from Kucherov and Telegin. Barabanov, that pass was blocked by Wolf as he got a skate in front of it. Barabanov stays on it. Tried to drop it back. It was beyond the reach of Ovechkin. Ganal will get this out at center for Austria, trying to get that on for Schlacker, but it got intercepted and right back in for Alex Ovechkin. Down for Barabanov. Barabanov for Artem Anisimov. Schlacker stays with him. Konstantin Kamaric down low to help out. He'll get this up at center. Thomas Rothel had to get away from him. Schlacker follows up, sends it in, and that'll signal a complete change for Austria as Zadorov slowly winds his way to center. He'll pick his way into the Austrian zone. Got stopped there by Winterugger, and a clear out at center ice. Clemens Unterweger staying with Zadorov. Came to the front of the net, steered away by Starkbaum. Kucherov back for Nestorov. Back for Kucherov. Gusev going after it. Gusev, that pass intercepted by Unterweger. Anisimov back for Zaitsev. And the pass intended for Kucherov had a little too much on it. Unterweger brings it back in. He'll drop it for Hofer. Hofer for Zwerger. Zwerger sharp angle. Georgiev the save. And then Kucherov will just slow it down. Headed back for Zaitsev, and Kucherov will make his way to the bench on the change. Andronov tried to drag that to the front. It got away from him. Kovalchuk trying to come backside for Zaitsev. Never got through all the traffic. Heinrich will race to the near side against Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk will get there first. Played it for Telegin. And cleared back out at center ice, and here comes Rothel. Telegin on the back check knocked him down. And a sharp angle try from the far side goes over top the net. A couple of little cross checks there from Michael Rothel against some of his NHL opponents. Zaitsev comes back with a cross check. Crowd reacts. No call coming. In front of the net. Herberger got chopped down, and the Austrian fans starting to get a little frustrated here. Kovalchuk to the front of the net. Telegin jumps on it. Telegin fires, turned aside. After it is Malkin. Dadonov tried to get that back for Malkin, chopped to the line, but kept in. Dmitry Orlov. Orlov backside, good play down low by Heinrich to break it up. Back it comes for Orlov. He had the open net, and he misfired.
Too open almost. Great passing in tight. Extra pass from, I think, Dadonov through to Orlov.
Dadonov bringing it back in against Herberger. Came to the side of the net, and Starkbaum will hang on to this as we're into the final 56 seconds of the period.
Kucherov now tied for second, not surprising if we don't see him up top of that list. Won the NHL scoring race by quite a margin, and he just piles up the points. And if he's going to get him on the power play like he is, it becomes that much more dangerous.
228 points in his last 2 years in the National Hockey League.
That's not right. There's only 164 games.
In the 128 points this year, the most since Mario Lemieux had 161 back in the 95-96 season.
He set some records.
And speaking of Mario Lemieux and Pittsburgh and great hockey players, fans were very impressed with Jaromir Jagr's appearance in this building last night.
He might have got the biggest cheer of the night.
Yes.
After the Czech Republic game, giving the Player of the Game award to Michael Frolik.
Well, to see the smiles on the faces of the Czech players. Cleared around the boards as the second period will wind its way down here. 1-0 after one period for Russia. And Russia gets a couple here in the second period from Kucherov and Telegin. And they're going to try and get one late one. Chance for Kucherov at the buzzer. Just when it looked as though Russia was going to be content to run out the clock. Ilya Vorobyev, the head coach of Russia, has his team up by a score of 3-0. Alexander Georgiev has been perfect so far in this game, 11 for 11. And at the other end of the ice, it has been Bernard Starkbaum, who has been very good, been busy. Faced 27 shots and 3 have slipped by him.
3-0 Russia, probably a scoreline that Austria will take. They've battled hard, they've had their chances. Have elected to overpass a few times, surprisingly. Well, those 2 quick goals for Russia in the second settle things down for them, stretch this game out, and you wonder if they don't pull away even more into the third period.
Norway coming off the loss to Latvia. Here's a chance, Sergachev backdoor score. What a setup for Dadanovich. 15 seconds in, it's 4-0, and that will not make Coach Banner happy.
Stretching it out, they will, apparently. And we've seen this many times as the Austrians get fixated on the puck in the defensive zone. The defense for Russia slide in behind their forwards. So here's Sergachev getting in behind his guy, and then Palestrang gets the puck watching, and Dadanovich gets in behind him. You're gonna see Herberger caught up high, and then a nice pass from Sergachev right on the Dadanovich stick as Palestrang is left trying to spot the puck, and his man comes up with neither. And second consecutive 2-goal game for Dadanovich, and his first non-power play goal for number 63 for Russia.
That one may be one of the easier ones that he will score, although to be honest, he's made all 4 of them look somewhat easy. Alex Ovechkin will send this in. Norway back in action Tuesday against Switzerland, and then Thursday against Sweden. Then they'll have Norway and Italy, a couple of big games for them. They will try and avoid relegation.
And I think you'll see this line for Russia dig in a little bit more in this third period. I think Ovechkin wants a goal. I think they've played 2 opponents that are going to put up 10 goals in 2 games, and he's not going to have any. That won't sit well with a guy who prides himself on scoring always.
Schlacker plays it cross ice. Hofer going after it. Bounced away from him and Gavrikov. Back for Russia. Plays it around for Gusev. Gusev will let it come to the blue line. Artem Anisimov will send it back down low.
Starkbaum not realizing Kucherov is back there, point behind the net to play the puck. where did you come from?
Played back, and Hafizulin will go cross ice. Zaitsev rink wide off the boards for Kucherov. Just so impressive is Kucherov. Around for Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk to the front of the net. Anisimov was tied up. Schlacker will play this ahead for Hunterfund. And Hunterfund will play this back for Schlacker. Hunterfund again, plays it to the open side. Comes out at center. Obrist ties his man up, and that creates a little bit of room for Strong. And the quick release there by Strong, and that went wide. Kovalchuk on for Andronov. Andronov forced to the sideboard. Strong gave him a bump, and Howden goes after a loose puck.
Telegan taking a regular shift on this fourth line. It might be Kaprizov who has found himself as the 13th forward here into the third period. The other line's working. Dadanov's scoring goals. First on the power play. Another one-timer from the slot. That's his spot. Wherever he gets it from, he finds the back of the net. And then nice backdoor feed from Sergachev, sweeping it home. I think they'll take the assist away from Kovalchuk that they announced. They give it to Malkin, as is deserved. And Dadanov now 4 goals. Only behind Capo Kakko of all people.
Yes.
5 through 2 games for Finland. I think Finland's only scored 7. He's got 5 of them. He is making a mark with the draft coming up. Jack Hughes playing for the USA.
It's been a good run for Finland. Won the World Junior, had the unfortunate incident at the Women's Championship.
Yeah, should have won that.
Now off to a good start here at the World Championship.
And doing it without any real NHL regulars in their lineup. Strength of their team game and their domestic league.
Dadanov gives chase. Starkbaum plays it away from him. Heinrich will play it up the boards looking for Schneider. That failed to materialize. Palistrang after it in the behind the net with Malkin. Malkin will stuff it back to the line, gets it back. Malkin cruising in the high slot, plays it for Grigorenko. Grigorenko was watched by Herberger. Herberger trying to come up with it, does finally. And he'll start back for Austria. The lead pass is beyond the reach of Raffel. They wave off the icing. And Sergachev will play it back for Zaitsev. Zaitsev got pressured by Raffel, knocked the puck loose. Michael Raffel near side for Peter Schneider. In for Herberger, save made by Georgiev. And now a penalty coming against Austria.
Michael Raffel got his stick tied up, and Alex Ovechkin skates right in front of the net. Had to call it, given where Ovechkin went down.
Zaitsev for Orlov. Orlov, Kuznetsov trying to go high short side. Into the slot for Orlov. Tipped down low by Ilya Kovalchuk. And Kovalchuk gets his first of the World Championship.
That is a nice tip from Kovalchuk. He is the guy that takes the goaltender. He has done it every time there's been a delayed penalty. If he's not on the ice, he hops for Georgiev, who hustles off. And what a look from Orlov. Full fake slapper. Kovalchuk jumps out, presents the target, and despite having a massive curve on his stick, tipping pucks is easier on the straight of your stick. You get more control off them. He's able to cut this one up into the top part of the net behind Starkbaum. No chance for Starkbaum on that one. And the captain gets on the board.
Shumnik was beside Kovalchuk, but I think he thought that Orlov was going to fire it.
You're waiting on the shot to come in. You're kind of watching it, and
delayed penalty.
Don't really dig in on the stick.
Gusev plays it back into his own zone. So 2 quick ones in the second period, and now 2 quick ones here in the third. And after having a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes, Russia has certainly taken control of this one. Orlov slapped it from the line, deflected off the stick, and over top the net. Kucherov dances around, gets it for Gusev, back for Kucherov. Stopped in front of the net, trying to Clear that out of the harm's way was Ganal. Kept in by Russia, though. Gusev, Gavrikov trying to hold it in, and they ruled that he did. Kucherov down low, and he fired that one over top the net.
Ilya Kovальчук. You're right, Shubnik just kind of watching, gives a slash over top. Kovальчук extricates a stick from Shubnik's and able to tip it upstairs. And Kovальчуk has been a prolific producer at the Worlds. I remember scoring that one year when he was in Canada. He had the overtime goal for Russia. Won multiple goals, 2008. And he's been a great international player for Russia. Won the Olympic gold medal in 2018.
Again, you talk about 880 NHL games for him, and he spent 6 seasons in the KHL. Back at the line, ripped there by Nestorov, and he fired that one over top the net. At times, it's a bit of a shooting gallery here for Russia. And Starkbaum trying to hang in there. Backdoor play, and Hofer couldn't get a stick on that. And Zwerger fed it across. Hofer on it again, throws it to open ice. No one there as Strong had jumped in. And here comes Ovechkin. Ovechkin takes it wide, and good play defensively, centered in front for Telegin. And Ivan Telegin almost had his second of the game.
The bull rush by Ovechkin, just throwing Hofer into Starkbaum as he tried to check him. That's why Starkbaum ended up on the back wall.
Howden throws it cross ice. Rockenwald lost control of it. Georgiev plays it up the right side boards, but Howden is there to block it. At the line for Heinrich. The shot never got through. Howden is on it again. Goes back to the forehand to get away from Kovальчук. Into the slot it goes, and Oberst with the wrister. That one over top the net. Palestrang plays it back down low. Palestrang jumps into the play. Howden will spin this back to the corner. Palestrang trying to come up with it. Oberst gets bumped. Puck comes loose, and Nikita Zadorov in his first game for Russia gets it and tries that lead pass for Ilya Kovальчук. This would be offside, but the Russians will clear the zone, and play goes on. Gavrikov breaks it up with the Russian line. One touch over to Dadonov. Dadonov trying to get it for Grigorenko. Grigorenko tied up. Cleared back out at center, and Sergachev feeds Dadonov. Dadonov for Malkin. Malkin trying to get that back for Dadonov. Dadonov up top. Sergachev, quick wrister, and Starkbaum gets a stick and deflects that up and out of play. Or did it go off Evgeny Malkin? 5-0 Russia. Maybe a bit of a slow start for Russia in this game, but they certainly have gotten better as the game went on.
We kind of predicted, though. Noon start on a Sunday morning, and Russia eased their way into this game, but they are in full flight now and feeling their offensive game. Lots of creativity, lots of possession.
Austria sitting at 13 shots, and the total could be higher because they had some chances in the first period where they simply tried to overpass it. But Russia certainly deserving of the 31 shots that it has. Anisimov on the back track. may have tipped that away as it was headed on the near side for Unterweger. Kept in at the line. Ganal trying to get that out front. Shumnigan from the line. Winterfund. He'll drop that off at the line. And cleared back out as the pass from Hunterfund as he tried to get that back to Unterweger, and it got intercepted. Zwerger at the line, but this will be offside as Fabian Hofer, trying to avoid some traffic at the line, gets inside.
Roger Powder, the coach of Austria, reference, it's not about the result today, it's about how we play. Can we be aggressive? Can we take any positives out of this game, even though they're very unlikely to win this? They've never beaten Russia in a world championship before. They won't do it today. And I think there were some things, especially in that first 25 minutes, that they can feel good about. They bring that out against Norway or Italy. They'll have more chances, they'll score some goals, and they'll very likely get the result they're looking for, which is really just to pull out a win, maybe 3 or 4 points in the round robin to stay in the A pool. Doesn't feel very good to stand there and be on the bench for this game. Everyone's a competitor and wants to win, but that's the reality.
Well, as opponents looked at the schedule, and in this case with Austria, for the second straight year they play Norway, or they play Russia in the second game. I'm not sure they expected this Russian lineup with some of the star power that is here, with the Ovechkins and the Kucherovs and the Sergachevs, and on it goes. And across, Dadanovich, or rather Zadorov, will play this in, goes cross ice. Kept in at the line by Habazulin, and now it does bounce its way out at center.
This is where I watched the Ovechkin effect, because Barabanov was really good the first couple periods, earned himself a promotion to Ovechkin's line, and I've seen him out there with him now, and he looks very deferential. He's trying to find Ovechkin. He's trying to pass the puck instead of maybe just playing the way he usually does, the way he did in the first period. It takes a certain kind of mentality to play with the really good players, the great players, in that you have to recognize what they're good at and try to get the puck to them in their spots. But you can't change your game to do so. And it feels right now, I watch Barabanov, and he's kind of pulling up, not taking to the net. He's looking through seams for passes. And when that hasn't been the way he's played to be at his very best, some of the reason why sometimes Sidney Crosby can be tough to play with, and Ovechkin can be tough to play with. Not because they're not talented, but you have to have the right mindset to play with those guys.
Do you almost slow your game down because of it?
Well, you're looking for plays that aren't instinctively there because you're trying to find them. If he's available, you make the pass. But for Barabanov, his game isn't working around the edges and peeling up and cutting back and trying to feather pass around. He's a hard player, takes pucks to the net, uses his speed, and he's not done the same kind of job in the second 2 periods as he did in the first. And it's really happened since he's been paired up with Ovechkin and Kuznetsov. As the crowd gets a rise of the referee going down the neutral zone.
That referee went for a little bit of a spill. That was Linus Olin of Sweden. Russia back in with Malkin. Malkin, a spin-a-rama backhander. In tight, try for Ilya Kovальчук, and he almost tucked that in the short side. In the back half here of this third period, Grigorenko off the bench. Grigorenko being watched by Herberger.
Malkin, he was a little frustrated. Almost took a cross-checking penalty prior to that. See if he can stay out of the box here.
Balistrand gets out muscle at the side of the net. Back it comes for Dmitry Orlov. The deflection by Dadonov came back to Grigorenko. Starkbaum the save. And Bernard Starkbaum will hang on to it. And there's Malkin down on all fours in front of the net. Russia with the 5-0 lead. 8:52 left on the clock here in the third period. Russia will go to 2-0 and get ready for tomorrow's game against the Czech Republic. And the Czech Republic sitting at 2-0.
Well, now that this game is firmly in hand, you don't mind the early start. You get the rest of the day to rest, relax, recover, and get prepared for the 4 o'clock local, 10 a.m. Eastern game, which will be a doozy. The Czechs have been really good through 2 games, handling Sweden, the defending champs, in the first game.
What a blast by Gusev, and what a save made by Starkbaum. We haven't been correct very often in our players of the game, but despite the fact it's 5-0, Starkbaum probably deserves some consideration. Another penalty coming up to Austria, and after being shorthanded 7 times in their opener, this will now be the 4th time in this game that
easy hold. And then Kucherov's not happy about the stick in the face on the way down. And so Russia goes back to the power play. Chance for Malkin, who is wheeling and dealing. Kovalchuk almost gets his 2nd of the game to get it done. And not surprising, look who they have out here, first unit though. Not the one that scored all the goals. I think coach trying to get Ovechkin on the board.
Ovechkin, backside play, bounces around, and Kovalchuk never did get it. And this gets cleared off the glass and down the ice again. Ovechkin in a prime shooting area. The right-hand shot coming down the left lane. Kuznetsov brings it back in, leaves for Orlov. Orlov for Ovechkin. Off the shaft of the stick and off the side of the net.
Starkbaum is pushing to his right even before Orlov starts to make that pass. If Orlov fakes it once and just shoots it on net, Starkbaum might be on the wrong post. He is reading the Ovechkin one-timer coming up.
Ovechkin dishes for Orlov. This will get deflected deep. Kaprizov back up top. As they play give and go with Kuznetsov, Orlov, Kaprizov, Kovalchuk. And he misfires on the one-timer, and it's cleared. Dmitry Orlov will go back.
And Ovechkin not changing. He's been pretty good about not hanging out here too long in the power play. Finally, that puck turned over, he gets off the ice. We know in Washington, he is expected, and they allow him to play the full 2 minutes. He'll go with both units if that's the way it goes, and they're fine with that. And that's the expected behavior. But out here with Kucherov and Gusev waiting to get out there, it's a tougher sell to stay the full 2.
Get the glare when you come back to the bench.
The hairy eyeball is...
Ganol with the wrister, save made, Georgiev. Just the 14th save of the game for Georgiev, and again the crowd reacts. Here comes Malkin. Dadaunov, who has 2 in the game. Kucherov plays it back up top and then gets it back from Sergachev. Over to Malkin. Malkin being watched out of the penalty box. Now is Kamaric, and he was going to chase that puck and try and retrieve it, and then elects to head back to the bench. Not sure whether he should stay out or not, and now finally he will make his way into the Austrian bench.
If you don't know, you just stay out there. It's 5-0. If they don't, someone doesn't jump right away, you just will get back on the ice. Almost sweat the small details now.
Raffl breaks that up. It would have been offside anyway because Telegin was in ahead of the play. Schneider gets that down to Raffl, trying to outweight Georgiev, and he waited too long and the shooting lane closed. Zadorov ties his man up in behind the net. Raffl is up with it, Thomas Raffl. Plays it back to the blue line, and this will bounce away from Strong. Telegin gives chase. Strong sends it back in. Thomas Raffl did not clear the zone. And this is going to be offside. In fact, they may call this intentional offside as Zadorov and Thomas Raffl have a little chat in behind the play. It was 1-0 Russia after 1, 3-0 Russia after 2. These two teams met in game 2 last year, and Russia won that one by a count of 7-0. They had a 3-0 lead after the first. And the shots in that game were 48-18, and the shots sit 37-14 at this point. So some similarity between the two games. Kovacuk tried to go cross ice. That got knocked down by Zwerger. Zwerger giving chase back into the Russian zone and now taken by Gavrikov. Gavrikov sends this up at center. Grigorenko with Kovacuk, nothing doing there. Howden will carry this back in. Howden got dragged down, and again the Austrian fans felt something should have been called. Austria has not had a power play in this game. Kucherov took a penalty when Russia was on the power play, so it went to 4-on-4, but by the time the one penalty expired, there was another penalty to Austria. Howden pinned there by Barabanov. Barabanov squeezes his way up the boards, lost his stick, kicks it ahead for Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov tried to get that to the front of the net, but a good stick tie-up down low by Raphael Wolf. Ovechkin whips that to the net. That went wide. Orlov ripped it, and Starkbaum makes the save and holds.
Dmitry Orlov can really shoot the puck. He's got the club head speed. Like, he whips his blade at that puck and challenges Starkbaum to the left side. And that's the comfort level for Orlov or Kuznetsov for playing with Ovechkin all the time. They don't worry about forcing pucks in. They don't worry about keeping number 8 happy. They know that over the course of time he'll get his and that'll be fine. And Orlov will probably be the leading time defender for Russia for most of this tournament.
Averages 21-38 per game with the Washington Capitals. Sergachev the shot from the line, that hit a leg, never got through. Raffel after it, watched by Grigorenko. Michael Raffel down for Peter Schneider. He got that to the front of the net, but then couldn't get the stick back on the puck.
Nobody want to pass that puck to Heinrich on the back door wide open. And two different guys that could have slipped it over to him. I know we talked about overpassing, but that was the easy pass and the right one to make.
Kept in by Shumnig. And this bounces off the stick of Raffel, and Gusev is on it. Gusev ahead for Malkin. Malkin with the drop pass. Gusev will drop it back, get it back, and Starkbaum another save.
Did he get that one? Bring on the outside of the post as well.
Back into the front of the net. That got turned aside as Thomas Raffel was trying to get a stick on that pass from Ganal.
The cut and drop give and go is a staple between Gusev and Kucherov.
Anisimov gets forced wide by Strong at the line, and that forces an offside.
Gusev's an interesting story because he wanted to come over and sign with Vegas. As you take a look at his most recent one-timer. Did he get the post here? No, it's a blocker. What a blocker saved by Starkbaum. But his contract with his Russian team expired in May, so he was not going to be able to sign if the Russian team did not release him, his club team. And so part of the deal was, we'll let you go, sign with Vegas. If they get knocked out, you come back and play in the World Championships. That was part of the negotiation as far as getting out of the last, whatever it was, 4 weeks of his contract, which they could have held firm on, forcing him to not sign with Vegas and just come to the Worlds. So a little give and take between the Russian Federation and Vegas to get him over there, get his first year of his entry, his 1-year entry-level deal expired. Now he can sign as a restricted free agent. More money for Gusev, but also the promise of if Vegas was no longer playing, he'd come over here. And you see when he plays in this format with the players like this, why the Russian team would want him so badly.
Part of the same team with Ilya Kovacuk that won the Gagarin Cup back in 2017. Kovalchuk won a couple of them. Another one in 2015 with SKA St. Petersburg.
There, St. Petersburg, a powerhouse, stacked lineup.
Kucherov on the steal. Kucherov drops it, and Anisimov tried to drive that in. It got blocked. And now cleared up, and Zwerger will get it outside the line. Schlacker will jump on it. He'll take it back into his own end.
Anisimov's a nice fit between these two guys. You know, he plays a simple, straight-ahead game between Gusev and Kucherov, who are everything but simple and straight ahead. Also good in his own end. They don't force those guys to play down low. He's the first guy below the goal line like he is here. Wins a lot of battles, wins his face-offs. There's a lot of little ugly things to help get his guys the puck.
And some size on that line as well for Anisimov at 6'4". There's a floater from the line, and Alexander Georgiev makes another save and hangs on to it with 1:11 now left in this game.
Well, Georgiev at this point is probably pretty comfortable knowing that he's not going to be the guy. It's Vasilevsky for Russia, one of the best goalies in the world, likely Vezina Trophy winner this year in the NHL.
Slap shot deflected, and that went just past the near post.
New York has to deal with the same rotation with Lundqvist. Big name guy, plays in behind, but all you got to do is go out there and keep stopping pucks, and you will get your ice time.
Barabanov for Sergachev. Sergachev throws it up the middle for Nestorov, and Nestorov's pass ended up on the stick of Alexander Rockenwald. Back out the center it comes. And Russia will go to 2-0 with this victory. Back in across the line. Nestorov plays this back. Cleared around the boards. Ovechkin at the front of the net looking for a loose puck. It never did get to him. Our second game today will be Italy and Sweden. Back in for Ovechkin. Barabanov pinned behind the net. Barabanov fights his way away from Strong. Barabanov to the forehand. Tried to get that off that back post. It got deflected away. And this one will come to an end as Russia wins it 5-0.
Workman-like effort, not their very best. A little slow to get going, but the talent just too much for Austria to handle. A comfortable 5-0 win. Kucherov, Gusev, impressive once again.
15-save shutout for Alexander Georgiev, who toils for the New York Rangers during the regular season. Russia goes to 2-0. Austria falls to 0-2.